You're listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to the line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
We believe in the American way, and we built this country called the USA, and we fly our flag cause we're proud and free, we're Americans. Red, white, and blue is our way of life. We never back down from a challenge or a fight. Nature provides, God gives the rights, we're Americans. We fish the waters and we hunt the lands. We forge the steel with our own two hands. With what we've got, we do the best we can. We're Americans.
It's time now for the Conservative Curmudgeon Radio Show. Now, here's Grouchy.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome in to the Conservative Curmudgeon Show. That's right, the Conservative Curmudgeon Show, where we're kicking ass and not even caring to take the names. The Conservative Curmudgeon Show, where the points are imaginary, just like Trump's campaign strategy, for instance. Before we get rolling good tonight, I want to take a quick minute to mention the flood victims in Louisiana. This unfortunate incident, this wasn't even a hurricane, folks. This was a weak low pressure system that just kind of situated itself. It just dropped on them. They're talking about 90% of the homes in this flood zone didn't have flood insurance because of where they lived, because their areas had never been flooded before. That's how historic this is, folks. 5 miles away from the river, people lost their homes. It's unreal. If you're in my local area, and I know that's very few of you out there, but the University of South Alabama in Mobile, Alabama, is taking collections, and they're going to have a drive that they're going to be, I think, they're collecting through Friday, and they're taking it over this weekend. And I also wanted to mention another place that's doing a collection here, thanks to some Twitter friends out there for bringing this to my attention, because I did not know about it before. But let's see if I can get this to pop up here real quick, because I want to get you guys this information. You cannot fathom, unless you have been through a flood or a catastrophic hurricane or tornado, something of that nature, how bad this is. Some of these towns took over 26 inches of rain in 24 hours. That's just incredible. Incredible. Of course, it doesn't want to cooperate right now when I need it most. I will find it here. Give me just a second, because we're not going forward until I get this. Okay, here we go. For flood victims in the Louisiana and Mississippi area, you can go to mnawarehouse.com and click on how you can help. They say they're in dire need of flood buckets, and what was the other item they listed here in particular? Hygiene kits. Folks, I can also tell you non-perishable food items, water, diapers. And for those of you out there who are like me and you are animal lovers, yes, there are animal victims of this flood too. And there are plenty of locations out there that are taking up supplies for the animals to help them out too. Many have been displaced from their homes and their owners, and all they know is that they're hungry and there's nobody around that they know. So please do what you can. This is not a fun situation. Anybody that's even been without power after a hurricane, you have an inkling of an idea of what I'm talking about. But until you've had the water roll up in your house, whether it came up to your knees, whether it came up to your chin, these folks have water up to their shingles on the outside of their homes. It's very serious. Okay, now that the serious part of the show is over, we're going to move on to the fun part of the show. Okay, and we're going to kick off tonight. We have a nice little audio clip of Donald Trump. And folks, let me tell you, before we get into this clip, this does not do my heart good. I know some people out there think I'm just heartless because I like to pick on Trump. I got news for you, folks. I'm an equal opportunity offender. I pick on Trump. I pick on Hillary. I'll pick on Jill Stein. I'll pick on Evan McMullin. I don't care who they are. Okay? If they're doing something stupid, I'm going to call them out. I don't care what letter is behind their name. I don't care what party they claim to represent. I simply don't care. I'm calling out the stupid. So, that being said, tonight we get a little audio of Donald Trump, who likes to contradict himself. Now, if you've ever been in a discussion on social media with the rabid Trump fans, the ones that I like to call his unity ambassadors, the ones that tell you how stupid you are because you can't see voting for him just yet. I got news for you, folks. He's not. If he's as smart as the people closest to him claim he is, then he really needs to start displaying it. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and start rolling the clip and just listen to some of these contradictions, because I don't have to add a whole lot to this. He's going to do all the work himself here. So let's go ahead and roll it, Mr. Producer.
I'm the only one on the stage that said we should not go into Iraq.
Are you for invading Iraq?
Yeah, I guess so. I wish it was. I wish the first time it was done correctly.
I'm very pro-life.
I'm very pro-choice.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle? There has to be some form of punishment.
I am pro-choice in every respect.
She has no natural talent to be president.
She's very talented, and she has a husband that I also like very much.
Hillary Clinton was the worst Secretary of State in the history of the United States.
Hillary Clinton, how did she do as Secretary of State? Probably above and beyond everybody else.
Let's say Hillary is president.
Hillary Clinton, I think, is a terrific woman. I think she really works hard, and I think she does a good job, and I like her.
I will build the wall, and Mexico is going to pay for it, and they'll be happy to pay for it.
I'm not going to pay for that.
This guy used a filthy, disgusting word on television, and he should be ashamed of himself, and he should apologize, okay?
Listen, you mother.
I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. We'll beat the shit out of them.
Political bullshit.
You're not going to raise that fucking price, you understand?
Donald, true or false, you've said the government should pay for everyone's health care?
That's false.
You've never said that.
Everybody's got to be covered.
Universal health care.
I am going to take care of everybody.
Who pays for it?
The government's going to pay for it, but we're going to save so much money on the other side.
He said I was in favor of Libya. I never discussed that subject. I was in favor of Libya.
We would be so much better off if Gaddafi were in charge right now.
Gaddafi in Libya is killing thousands of people. We should go in. We should stop this guy, which would be very easy and very quick. Stop him from doing it and save these lives.
They're here illegally. You take them, they have to go back.
We have to show some compassion.
You're right.
We just can't throw everybody out.
They have
So
to
you're going to split up
illegally.
families.
Chuck,
You're going to deport children.
Chuck, no. We're going to keep the families together. We have to keep the families together.
But you're going to keep
But
them
they have
together
to
out.
go. But they have to go.
How do you throw somebody out that's lived in this country for 20 years?
North Korea has nukes. Japan has a problem with that. I mean, they have a big problem with it. Maybe they would, in fact, be better off if they defend themselves from North Korea. Maybe we would be better off. Including with nukes. Yes, including with nukes.
They said, I want Japan to nuke. I want Japan to get nuclear weapons. Give me a break.
But if you say to Japan, yes, it's fine, you get nuclear weapons, South Korea, you as well, and Saudi Arabia says we want them too.
Can I be honest with you? It's going to happen anyway. So it's only a question of time.
I'm a conservative person.
The Republicans are just too crazy right. I mean, just what's going on is just nuts.
Bush says, I do not believe he's a true conservative. These people are stupid.
Do you identify more as a Democrat or a Republican?
In many cases, I probably identify more as a Democrat. The economy does better under the Democrats than the Republicans.
I don't know anything about David Duke, okay? I don't know anything about what you're even talking about with white supremacy or white supremacists.
What do you see as the biggest problem with the Reform Party right now?
Well, you've got David Duke just joined, a bigot, a racist, a problem. I mean, this is not exactly the people you want in your party.
Wages too high. We're not going to be able to compete against the world. I hate to say it, but we have to leave it the way it is.
I don't know how people make it on $7.25 an hour. I would like to see an increase of some magnitude.
Do you believe voters have a right to see your tax returns before they make a final decision?
I don't think they do.
If I decide to run for office, I'll produce my tax returns, absolutely.
There have been many presidents that have not shown their tax returns.
Actually, every single nominee since 1976 has released their tax
before
returns.
1976...
Nobody was worse to women or abused women more than Bill Clinton.
Look at the trouble Bill Clinton got into with something that was totally unimportant.
She's married to a man who got impeached.
They tried to impeach him, which was nonsense.
He was impeached for lying.
Honesty, Carter once said, "I'll never lie to you." Would you say that, the American people?
I would never lie.
When I'm president, I'm a different person. I can do anything. I can be the most politically correct person that you've ever seen. I can be the most politically correct person in the world. And I can be the opposite.
The president has to be a great leader, and you have to lead by example.
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay?
I'd like to punch him in the face.
I'd look her right in that fat, ugly face of hers.
Blood coming out of her, wherever.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay?
I don't know what I said. This guy will say anything.
As far as the truth goes, we've got people in positions of power who I know for a fact are liars. Liars. I don't believe any one of them, not one. I believe Donald.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Just wow. The only thing that comes to my mind after listening to that entire clip is...
Does not compute. Does not compute. Does not compute. Does not compute.
That's right, over and over and over. It's just a gigantic rim shot happening over and over in my mind. Look, folks, Hillary Clinton sucks. I mean, sucks. Trump sucks too. Okay? Maybe not. Oh, wow. Maybe not as bad as Hillary, but it's close. I have to admit that this election cycle sucks so bad that it should be co-sponsored by Dyson and Hoover. And I'm not usually this person. I have always advocated that we should, God, I can't even believe I'm saying this, but we should get behind the most conservative candidate left on the ballot and cast our vote for that person. Look, it hurts, okay? It hurt when I went to the poll and held my nose and voted for John McCain. It hurt when I had to hold my nose and go pull the lever for Mitt Romney. And where Hillary's concerned, it's going to hurt me to go to the poll and hold my nose again and vote for Donald Trump. Because it's, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Really, it's that horrible. It really is. If Trump does not get his head out of his backside and start concentrating on issues, and by the way, you think it's coincidence that this quote-unquote off-the-books payment from Russia to Paul Manafort has anything to do with the shakeup in Trump's campaign? Thing gets announced over the weekend, and here it is Wednesday, and we have a demotion for Manafort, and we got two new people coming in to run the campaign, basically. Next thing you know, I'm predicting by the end of the month, by mid-September at the latest, Manafort will be Corey Lewandowski's cameraman, and they will be working CNN together in tandem with all 16 viewers tuned into their show. But here nor there. we got other business we got to tend to, so let's get rolling into that. United States military, a military that I served in, a military that I love, a military that I am proud of, even still to this day, is a financial superpower, and defending her is serious business, and it's expensive. But before lawmakers can go to taxpayers and look them in the eye and ask them for any more money, like Senator John McCain did, the Pentagon and the Army in particular need to figure out how to keep their books. There are 6.5 trillion reasons why that needs to happen before an additional dime is allotted to the defense budget. Okay? AMI Newswire broke this report that the United States Army cannot adequately account for $6.5 trillion in adjustments made to its year-end 2015 financial statements, according to DoD Inspector General report released July 26th. The IG says the adjustments made through journal vouchers lacked essential documentation or were inaccurate or incomplete. So the result of this report is that the Defense Department and Army managers could not rely on the data in their accounting systems when making management and resource decisions. That, folks, is dangerous. It is dangerous in ways you cannot possibly understand if you have not been part of a gigantic logistics or military operation. The Inspector General warned that until the Army and the Defense Finance Accounting Services got control over their accounting problems, there's considerable risk that the Army's general fund financial statements will be materially misstated and that the Army will not achieve audit readiness by the congressionally mandated deadline of September 30th, 2017. 2017, folks, we're talking 13 months from now. They can't be audit ready in 13 months at the rate they're going. $6.5 trillion. Can you imagine not being able to account for that? Okay, for the average American, okay, let's go here. Let's say you won a scratch-off game in the lottery, okay? You took home the cool $1 million prize, okay? Now, after the government hits it for 40% on the luxury tax right off the top, you actually take home $600,000, okay? So now you're sitting there with $600,000 and you're wondering what to do with it. And then you look up into your bank account online on your computer screen because you did spend $1,200 on a nice new laptop. But you look on your screen and all of a sudden there's $188,000 of your $600,000 gone. And you don't know where it is. Now, you still got $312,000. Are you pissed off? Or I'm sorry, $412,000. Are you pissed off? You're still missing $188,000. Yeah, you're pissed off. You want to know where your damn money went. Money doesn't just get up and walk off. It doesn't grow on trees either. Although liberals would have you believe that it grows on the trees that, they call working people. We're trees to them. We grow their money. Yeah, that's right. If you work, you're a tree to a Democrat, a money tree. So anyway, nothing in the Inspector General's report says the trillions of dollars in question were lost or stolen. Instead, the report illustrates a decades-long problem with military accounting practices that make keeping track of how and why the Pentagon spends taxpayer dollars so difficult. Now, the director of the Strauss Military Reform Project at the Center for Defense Information told AMI Newswire that the problems with military accounting were, quote-unquote, enduring. Yeah, enduring. Yeah, I like that. One of the biggest, they said, is complexity. The initial gathering of the information is so decentralized by offices with varying documentation quality that DFAS accountants do end up scrambling at the last minute to document what they can and allow the remaining mystery numbers to stay in so they can meet their deadline. As far as quantity goes, it's just gobsmacking. You can't even imagine. The Cato Institute's Benjamin Friedman, a research fellow in Defense and Homeland Security Studies, told AMI that while the dollar amounts in the report are staggering, they aren't the real problem. Now, why would he say that? Well, because the money was allocated for defense spending. The problem is we just don't know how they spent it on defense. Okay? Now, being audit ready is mostly a symbolic issue for people worried about Pentagon waste. There are more important and pressing issues with the defense budget than having audit-ready financial statements that need to be addressed. The real issue is a persistent lack of fiscal discipline and budgetary honesty within both Congress, which appropriates the money, and the Department of Defense, which spends the money. What's more, the lack of accountability is, it might as well just be criminal. You know, you're talking about this much money, and you're talking about it not being their money. It's our money, folks. It's our money. It's the working peoples of America money. Most Americans would agree that defending our country is a priority that should never be taken lightly. But at the same time, it is eminently appropriate for taxpayers to demand that the people that we elect, that in turn appoint Defense Department management, basically, we'll call it, leadership, whatever you want to call it, and its various armed services, to get their act together when it comes to fully accounting for how they are spending hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars each year that come from me and you before they ask us to cough up more money. Can you see it any other way, folks? Really, do you think that the Department of Defense, look, I'm a veteran, okay? Desert Shield, Desert Storm, tell on my age, I don't really care. I get it. I get how important defense is. But I am not about to close my eyes and open my wallet and trust Washington, D.C. to be honest with what they take out of it. That's not going to happen. And neither should you. And quite frankly, if you're that blind to it that you think you should be doing that, you need some help. You definitely need some help. Now, what do we got here? Okay, this is quick. We're going to hit this little segment, and then we'll go to break at the bottom of the hour. So, we all know what happened in Milwaukee over the weekend. As blacks burned the city of Milwaukee Saturday night, one elected official actually justified their grievances. Riots broke out in the city after police shot and killed a 23-year-old black suspect with a long criminal history who was armed with a stolen handgun and 23 rounds of ammunition. But the facts didn't matter to the degenerates who seized the opportunity to use the shooting as an excuse to riot, loot, shoot, and burn down local businesses while they chanted Black Power. And while city leaders called a press conference to ask for calm, Alderman Khalif Rainey of Milwaukee made plenty of excuses, stopping short of outright condoning the violence. The alderman said Milwaukee is, quote, the absolute worst place in America for African Americans to live in the entire country. He went on to say black people are, quote, tired of living under this oppression. And while he said he didn't justify the violence itself, he did say, and I'm quoting again, nobody can deny that there are racial problems here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin that have to be rectified. Rainey even seemed to threaten more violence, saying this is the warning cry. He said of the rioters burning their community to the ground and shooting at firefighters who tried to put out a gas station fire. Where do we go from here, he asked? Where do we go as a community from here? Do we continue with the inequity, the injustice, the unemployment, the undereducation that creates these byproducts that we see this evening? Do we continue that? He demanded that the black people's grievances be rectified immediately, because if you don't, he said, this vision of downtown, all of that, he threatened, you're one day away. You're one day away from it happening again, said Alderman Rainey. Now, folks, we're going to back up just a quick second here, because where do we go from here? Where do we go from here as a community? Do we continue with the inequity? What inequity, sir? Where are you not seeing equality exactly? Outline this for me. The injustice. What injustice? There were five, count them, 5 black-on-black murders in Milwaukee before this police shooting happened, and there was not one riot. Not one person took to the street. Not one building was burned. Not one business was looted. The unemployment. You know, we talked about having the old Walkie Man Go game where you get up off your ass and you walk around town and look for a job at places that have hiring now signs. You know what? And the other thing, some people actually move to where there is a job for them. Imagine that. The concept of actually going somewhere to become employed. Undereducation. This is a product that happens starting at home, not in the schools, at home. Okay? When you have a mom or a dad or both, an aunt, an uncle, a grandparents that don't give a shit what these minor children are doing at school or whether they're even at school to begin with. There's your undereducation. The educators are there to provide an education to these young black people in Milwaukee. It is up to them to take advantage of having those educators. It is up to them to go there and receive the knowledge that gets dropped by teachers. How about taking some personal responsibility and about a thimbleful of initiative and getting off your ass and doing for yourself for a change? That being said, we're at the bottom of the hour. It's time for a commercial break. We're going to be back in just a couple minutes, and we'll keep rolling with the Conservative Curmudgeon Show right here on KLRN.
But ain't that America? You and me, ain't that America? Something to see, baby, ain't that America? Home of the free, yeah.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are
all right, we're clear for about 4.5.
Stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be worth it. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing.
Nah.
A Black Wolf Editorial Services who strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and
Stuff
all
like that
age
just pisses me off.
Services range from critiques of the short story through to line edits.
And that moron at the news interview, you know, the one they caught on the street.
We also offer assistance on generating a writer's file for your website, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you from that. We want to celebrate with you in your sector. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Authentic. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
Oh, but ain't that America? You and me. Ain't that America? Something to see, baby. Ain't that America? Home of the free, yeah.
All right, welcome back. Before we get rolling, it was brought to my attention during the break that I might have been a little bit tough on the alderman, but to that I say...
You suck, you jackass.
That's right. I thought that I was pretty spot on.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, before we get rolling, a little programming reminder, and I hope Mr. Producer is listening, even though we just jumped back in from commercial break. So jump in here and help me out. What do we got on tap tonight? Are we still running Loftus after me?
Yes, sir. Loftus is up after you. Then we have an hour break. Then I'll be live.
And there you go, folks. That is KLRN Tonight, the Loftus Party, correct?
Correct.
Loftus Party tonight, immediately following this broadcast. Then a 1 hour break, and then the rowdy one, Rick Robinson, takes to the airwaves, trying to keep America on the track.
Except it's pretty much too late.
Yeah, well, you know, I was going to let them figure that out when they tuned into the show, but okay, that's fine. So anyway, look, folks, if you've been listening to me for any amount of time, especially during this election cycle through the primaries, you know that my biggest criticism of Donald Trump is that he needs to be more on topic. And Representative Sean Duffy actually had a little news conference this week about just that very thing. He used the word that Trump needed to be more scripted, and that with the national security briefings that he started receiving today, Duffy thought that would help in that effort. Duffy said what he has to do is be more scripted and on page instead of off the page. Duffy does support Trump as the presidential nominee, but I wouldn't say that Duffy is going to be out there door knocking for him. So Trump was scheduled to receive his first classified intelligence briefing today. Was it overload for his mind, or was it just what he needed? Time will tell.
Can I just say I'm surprised none of it wound up on Twitter? Just saying.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, we haven't seen anything on Twitter yet, and I don't know if he has done an actual interview since the briefing today. But so far, so good. He was to be accompanied by two top advisors, retired Army Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, the Democrat, former Defense Intelligence Agency chief, and New Governor Jersey. Listen to me, what a freaking dyslexic idiot I sound like. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie Cream. Yes, that's a little play on words for those of you in the South and in, I guess, the Midwest area maybe. I don't know how far we go with Krispy Kremes, but you get the idea. Chris likes to eat a little bit. And there's nothing wrong with that, but my God, at least wear clothes that are appropriate for your body.
Now I'm flashing back to the baseball uniform things.
Exactly. Yes.
I'm about to have to eat dinner. I didn't need that visual, but thank you.
Yeah, the Christie toe. But Chris Christie is the head of Trump's White House transition team. I think it's a little early for that title just yet, but let's just hope it's not Hillary. Anyway, Representative Duffy, who is 44 years old, a little younger than am I, who was first elected to the House in 2012, said that the sessions would give Trump broader insight to, quote, all the problems that we face in the world. Instead of having him walk away from some of his law and order rhetoric, I think it will make him tougher on the law and order rhetoric, Duffy added. Once he gets that briefing, I think it's going to confirm the fact that the world is ablaze. You don't say. If he needs this briefing to let him know that the world is ablaze, then he's a blithering idiot. Duffy said that the briefings would confirm to Trump that the Clinton-Obama foreign policy strategy has been a disaster and that we need strong leadership to address it. Well, by God, let's hope so. I mean, really, what if this doesn't put Trump narrowed down on his focus? It's over, folks. It's over. And I don't want it to be over. I really don't. As much as I'm not looking forward to a Trump presidency like I did Reagan's presidency, going to be better than Hillary. Look, the one thing you can count on is if he wins the election, there are enough people in Congress that don't like him on both sides of the political aisle that he will be checked and balanced at every friggin' turn. Same cannot be said of Hillary Clinton. That's not a great justification. That's not an excuse. But I do believe it's true. And that really sucks. Again, goes back to this election cycle. Really, really sucking. So, pressing on, the other big news that they're trying to deflect some attention away from is that the FBI sent lawmakers notes, heavily redacted notes, on its interview with Hillary Clinton about her use of a private email server, as the State Department confirmed that it will release several thousand work-related messages that Clinton failed to turn over. The two developments on Tuesday all but ensured that the controversy over what FBI Director James Comey called the extremely careless handling of classified information by Clinton and her aides while she was Secretary of State will persist through the 12 weeks remaining before the election. Another unflattering episode is always just around the corner, said the director of the Center for Politics at the University of Virginia. The email matter is a persistent low-grade fever that won't kill her candidacy, but will weaken public trust in her during the remainder of her public career. In a Bloomberg Politics national poll conducted August 5th through the 8th, 58% of likely voters said the handling of emails by the Democratic presidential nominee bothered them, quote, a lot. Representative Adam Schiff, the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, said in a statement that lawmakers received the FBI witness interview reports, including that of Secretary Clinton's interview, along with other materials from the FBI's closed investigative file. Jason Herring, acting assistant director of the FBI, confirmed in a separate letter to the House Oversight Committee that the documents were being provided on a classified basis, but Schiff predicted their contents will simply be leaked for political purposes. This is an extraordinarily rare step that was sought solely by Republicans for the purposes of further second-guessing the career professionals at the FBI. Brian Fallon, Clinton's campaign spokesman, said that in a statement, and he also followed by saying, "We believe that if these materials are going to be shared outside of the Justice Department, they should be released widely so that the public can see them for themselves, rather than allow Republicans to mischaracterize them through sensitive partisan leaks." So basically, what he's saying is all these classified documents should be shared with the public. Sir, that's what WikiLeaks is doing. We don't need them to be released by the United States government. They're getting shared. Don't worry about it, bro. We got this. Okay? You're doing this to try to deflect. You're doing this to try to reflect. On four separate occasions that I can count of through this process, Clinton has perjured herself. Okay? Now, we're getting tight on time, and I don't have time to go through all four of them. We will do that on another day, I promise you, because it is important. It is important because what the FBI under Director Comey and the Justice Department under Loretta Lynch and the executive branch under Barack Obama have created, what they have created is a class of Americans that the law does not apply to. You and I, we obey the law or we go to jail. I mean, hell, look what they did to Dinesh D'Souza over a couple $1,000s in a campaign donation. I mean, literally just a couple of $1,000s. But classified national security information, bah. She didn't intend to be malicious with it. She didn't intend for the server to get hacked. She didn't intend to send classified documentation over a non-secure server. Comey's rewriting law like the Supreme Court rewrote the ACA to make it legal. So anyway, Clinton was interviewed by FBI agents and federal prosecutors for 3.5 hours on July 2nd at the Bureau's headquarters in Washington. Comey told Congress the following week there was no evidence that Clinton lied to the FBI, but said he would pursue a request from the Republican lawmakers that the agency investigate whether she lied to Congress. At the State Department, spokesman Mark Toner confirmed Tuesday that the department has agreed to provide Judicial Watch, a conservative watchdog group, and the number one FOIA litigators in this country. And if you don't know what FOIA is, you need to turn the radio off right now because you haven't been listening long enough to be educated. A conservative watchdog group that is pressed for release of Clinton's email exchanges with any emails sent or received by Secretary Clinton in her official capacity during her tenure as Secretary of State that weren't already vetted. Comey said last month that the Federal Bureau of Investigation found several thousand work-related emails that were not among the 30,000 communications turned over previously. Clinton had said those were all of her work-related messages. Judicial Watch, which has released more than 100 emails from Clinton that it says the State Department didn't previously make public, will now receive the remainder, although the government will redact classified information. American people will now see more of the emails Hillary Clinton tried to hide from them, said Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton. While the details of the FBI report on Clinton's interview and the content of the additional emails uncovered by the agencies aren't public, Comey said last month that no reasonable prosecutor would bring a case on the issue because it would require an intent to violate statutes. So now Comey, who I understand does have a law degree, is also, taking up the umbrella of prosecutor and just dismissing everything before, anybody else could have a say-so in it. The FBI's Herring reaffirmed in the letter to Congress that the agency found, quote, no clear evidence of knowledge or intent, end quote, by Clinton to mishandle classified information. So the fact that she was handling that information on a non-secured server is intent alone and clear evidence of her knowledge since she is the one that directed the setting up of this server. Morons. Said the agency also assessed that the facts did not support a recommendation to prosecute her or others within the scope of the investigation for gross negligence. Now, at the top of that story, I alluded to the fact that they were trying to turn a lot of attention away from that. And how are they turning attention away from that? Well, the old nothing up my sleeve, except this guy named Barack Obama, who's now pushing forward very hard with his obsession to shut down Gitmo, or Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. Wow. It's not, Obama calls Gitmo a stain on America. He calls it a stain on America. He thinks that we're so inhumane by having Guantanamo Bay down there. And look, of all people, Representative Peter King, okay? He says, I've been to Guantanamo. And when he talks about it being a stain on America, on the reputation of American politicians, this denigrates Guantanamo. The prison, King continued, is not a concentration camp. They have soccer fields. They get language lessons, art lessons. There's one medical person for every 3 detainees, everyone gets a copy of the Quran. There are arrows pointing towards Mecca so they know where to point to when they pray, when they lift their ass off the ground. It's not any kind of concentration camp or anything else. I can't imagine any prisoner camp during a war or following a war where prisoners were treated as well as they are in Guantanamo. In addition, said King, it is dangerous to let these people go, but Obama is obsessed with getting Gitmo closed, to closing out this campaign promise and checking this off the legacy list. Now, the distraction is that he just cut 15 loose this week. 15 detainees that we have good reason to believe through multiple intelligence sources are A, dangerous, and B, inclined to return to the fighting. So where did he send them? Where are they going? Are they going to South America? Are they going to Australia? Are they going somewhere in Central Africa? No. He's sending them to the United Arab Emirates. Someplace that their fellow radical jihadis can freely drive a truck into, pick them up, and take them out of. Way to go, Barry. Now, we know for a fact that about 20% of those that have been released already have ended up back in the battlefield. Now, if we know of 20%, I'm telling you now that there's at least another 20% that we don't know of. And that means that somewhere between 20 and 40% of every detainee that has been let go by the Obama administration is not only capable of killing Americans, but motivated to do so again and again if they don't take their own life in the process of doing it the first time. So, even Peter King, who is the furthest thing from a lockdown hard conservative, even though he is technically a Republican. He's a New York Republican, which is a little different than a Republican. Okay, you know what I mean? Yeah. But anyway, he thinks that Gitmo needs to stay open. And, this is one thing I agree with Trump on. We need to keep Gitmo open. And we need to get information from these people. Of course, not that they have anything now that's going to be tremendously useful, but you just never know until you try to extract it, right? So Obama's first executive order was about closing the Cuban prison. And, Trump, with his extensive vocabulary, complained last week that Obama is, quote, releasing terrible people from Guantanamo, and has called for keeping the prison open. He further criticized Obama and others seeking to try terrorism suspects in traditional courts, saying it would be fine to hold hearings before military commissions at the Cuban facility, which was opened by the Bush administration after the 9/11 attacks. Boom. There you have it. Okay? So finally, something I can actually get with Trump on. We should keep Gitmo open, and we should be using enhanced interrogation techniques to extract whatever information we can from these people. End of story. To secure America and Americans. Folks, we are sliding into the top of the hour. Once again, a reminder that immediately following me tonight is the Loftus Party with Michael Loftus. a very witty man. You will want to stay tuned for that, because I can promise you he will put a smile back on your face if I have done anything to take it off. And he'll put a bigger one on if you're smiling still. So stay tuned, then take an hour break, get yourself a little late dinner, and tune back in for Rick Robinson with America Off the Rails after that 1 hour break after Loftus. And I promise you that it'll be the best night you have this week, because TV sucks on Wednesday anyway. Summer reruns suck even worse. That's it for me, folks. I will be back with you next week. I hope you're here too, right here on KLRN Radio. I'm the Grouch. Peace out. God bless.
Oh, but ain't that America? You and me. Ain't that America? Something to see, baby. Ain't